Hello to all my Research Project 2 students. How are you? I know you guys are on the streets. You have been very active in this situation in the country, and I thank you for that. But as I said, I believe that education is the answer, so I'm going to continue working here. And if you pick up the materials, if you're ready to come back, then here these things are going to be here waiting for you. Okay, so I decided to make this video in order to correct some of the most repetitive mistakes that I saw in your writing. I checked everything. I shouldn't have done that, giving myself so much work for the end. But well, this is how things have been rolling. So well, this is what it goes, right? So let's see. We're going to take a look at some common problems with your writing that were identified in your own papers. So if you see your own examples, don't worry. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's not that I chose the worst or anything like that. No, it's just I chose some mistakes that were representative. And probably I picked up a lot of them from one only paper just because it was more practical. Okay, so don't get yourself any ideas. On the other hand, if there is no example from your work, it doesn't mean that your work is perfect. It just means that I started picking out the examples from another paper. So just try to watch this video critically, try to find these mistakes in your own paper and correct them in your own papers. You know, this is plural. So there were some mistakes. On the first category, we had mistakes with APA, right? So typical mistakes. So for example, this one, I want you to pause the video and reflect on what you think the mistake is. So if you said the mistake is this parenthesis and this comma because the quotation, it starts with according to, meaning it's a narrative quotation, then you were right. The correction is according to Hug, parenthesis 2015, right? The parenthesis is not outside. It is in the year only because Hug is part of the sentence. It's a narrative citation. Another kind of mistake was this. On the other hand, it can be said that communication processes are going through leaps and bounds that could well be called communicative fostered through digital media above conventional ones. Hug 2015. So, what do you think the mistake is here? Pause the video, reflect, and identify it. If you said the mistake was Hug again, you were right, okay? Because remember that when we have a citation like this, when we're paraphrasing the author, or when we have a parenthetical citation, then we need to have the parenthesis including the author and the year. So this was a problem. The person clearly got confused between the narrative and the parenthetical citation. Yeah, there are a lot of problems with the sentence, but we'll analyze it later. So another one is this mistake, and this is a very typical mistake. Guadarrama, Guadarrama, Marquez Mendoza, and Fajardo 2016. Pause the video, reflect. What is the problem with this quotation? If you said that it should be Guadarrama et al. 2016, you were right. Because remember that APA's 7th edition changed this situation. We've talked about it a couple times in class. So even from the first mention, if there are 3 authors or more, you're going to replace that with et al. Okay? That's it. That's the rule. Simple and easy. So next one, look at this. We have Amutio Cariaga et al. 2015. Pause the video and tell me what the problem is. If you said that comma after Cariaga didn't go there, you were right, okay? And so I can breathe. All right, so there were some mistakes with writing, with writing sentences, with elaborating ideas. So let's take a look at this sentence. According to Vivir 2020, basically, this international exam, 79 countries are evaluated in 3 specific areas that, unlike other exams. Pause, breathe, and analyze this sentence. What do you think is wrong with it? Okay, I rewrote the sentence. So, according to Vivir 2020, this international exam is applied in 79 countries and 3 specific areas are evaluated. that unlike other exams, I put it in parentheses because I have no idea what that means. I put it inside a parenthesis, just, you know, if the author wants to keep it, needs to clarify that. I guess we could do just unlike other exams, right? However, something important about this sentence is do not forget subject, verb, complement. Simple and easy, all right? So there we have another sentence. It is necessary to look at the results that can lead us to identify the shortcomings that exist in the educational system. So, pause the video. What do you think is wrong with this sentence? If you said that looking at the results, starting with an ing with a gerund, was the solution, you were right. Looking at the results of the test can lead the teachers, students, and parents alike to identify the difficulties that exist in the educational system. See how we clarify a subject? Looking at the results of the test, see how we involve the people who can solve the situation, teachers, students, and parents alike, right? So look at the sentence again, the wrong sentence. It is necessary to look. Be careful with that, guys. You guys make that mistake a lot. Starting with, it is necessary, it is important, it is pivotal, it is... Do not start with that. Just start with the subject of the sentence. Looking at the results, right? Straightforward. Why do you have to say it is necessary to look at the results? You can just say that looking at the results is necessary, right? Okay. Then, next sentence. We have another type of mistake which is related to writing, but is specifically called wordiness, yeah? You get all your arsenal of words out there and you start just putting out words and words that make sentences incomprehensible, obscure. So, for example, this one. But this is a general problem in the Colombian educational system since Colombia, in terms of international tests, is very far from the average. You see how there are too many words to just say something simple as, you know, we'll see in a minute. But look at this. Colombia in terms of is very far from the average, right? Let's take a look at this. Low scores in international tests are a general problem in the Colombian educational system. You see how even the size of the sentence was reduced? We had 3 lines and then it became 2 lines because what we needed to say was very short. And also, you guys have the problem of starting sentences with this. You know, this is a general problem. Like, you use this a lot to refer to the idea in the previous paragraph, just as you do in Spanish, esto. It is not the same, okay? You need, when you use this, you need to use a noun. This problem, this situation, this issue. It is not like in Spanish when we just say, this happened, you know, and this is a very common problem that you all have because you repeat it constantly in your texts. So my suggestion is just go for the subject, find the subject in your sentence, and place it there, okay? Next, on the other hand, it can be said that communication processes are going through leaps and bounds and could well be called communicative faster through digital media above conventional ones. Did you see how I got choked up in there? Because there's no pauses, because there's no stops, and because there are too many words. So wordiness, there are too many words to say something simple. So let's see how I transformed this sentence. On the other hand, communication processes have changed due to digital media, and nowadays, digitally mediated exchanges are prevalent. Hug, right? So we are, for example, this leaps and bounds thing, that is a very informal. That's a very informal expression. And if you're borrowing it from hug, if you're saying it exactly directly from the author, what should you do? You should add it in quotation marks so that we justify why we're putting such an informal expression in an academic text, okay? Check this out. It says communication processes and communicative fostered, which is, what is a communicative fostered? What is a communicative? Communicative, it's an adjective. And adjectives need to modify nouns, and there's no noun in here, okay? So what I did was I put communication processes have changed due to digital media. I should have placed a comma here. And nowadays, nowadays, digitally mediated exchanges are prevalent. So I'm going to actually add that comma because it bothers me right a lot here. Okay, great. So we're on. There we go. Yeah? So make sure that your sentences have subjects, verbs, and complements, right? Subjects, verbs, and complements all the time. Okay? And another type of mistake you guys were making were the unsubstantiated claims. What's that? You know, just saying these big things without theoretical support. This usually happens in the theoretical framework. So consequently, the use of digital storytelling can have a beneficial impact on learning English in middle school. That's a wonderful claim. Who said it? Says who? If you are claiming something this strong, you need to have backup. And your backup needs to come from the theory. Okay? So, yep, sad but true. I wish I were lying, but all of these were mistakes made in your papers. However, we are in the process of learning, so, you know, just learn. Just take a look at this video again, pause it, make sure you correct your documents for the third term. However, that was not the saddest part. You know what the saddest part was? That I actually made educational videos to show you how to do things, and they were ignored. There are only 8 people or 8 views to this video about the differences between the theoretical framework and the literature review, and that evidences that some people went ahead to continue writing without knowing the differences, and so we could see a mixture of literature review resources versus theoretical framework resources. So if you have not watched this video, this message is for you. Watch it, okay? Watch the video because there are some differences. It's a very short video. I happen to have the same sweater as today. It's a very short video and it tells you what are the main differences between these two documents so that you could make your corrections. And also, please guys, watch the videos that I upload into our Google Classroom because that's where the direct instruction is happening. You know, you have my thesis writing guide document. There you have a lot of resources, but also in our Google Classroom, I am preparing videos for you to watch, to clarify, to understand the different things and the different parts of your thesis. So please try not to do this in a vacuum. Try not to do this document on your own. Try to use the resources because that's what I'm creating them for. Okay? So, well, I hope this was helpful and I'll see you in class. Bye-bye, everyone.